Yo, what's good, guys? This is Malad Ghasil speaking, and today, as always, is a very special day. And I just want to talk about lending money. So, when I'm talking about lending money, I essentially am talking about lending money to people you know. Because usually, unless you're a bank or a financial institution, you're not going to lend money to strangers. So it's gonna be about lending money to family, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, spouses, stuff like that. And essentially, the main things that you need to focus on is like two things. Okay, so the first thing is, would they do this? Would they do it for you if you were in the situation, right? So if they needed money, if you needed money, would they give it to you? Okay, and this is all assuming that you have money to give. Obviously, if you don't have money to spare, you're not gonna give it to them. And what I mean by that is like, if someone wants $50 and all you have is 100, that's half of your money. Can you afford to give them $50? Can you afford to give them half of your money with the potential loss? Because they might be like, oh, I'll pay you in a week, and then a week goes into a month, and maybe they'll pay you by the end of the month, but then you spent the whole month with half of your money gone. And $50, $100, these are small numbers. I'm just trying to make it simple. So you have to afford it first. You have to be able to give it to them. So all your expenses have to be paid, and you have to have money left over with no plans for that money, just sitting aside, and then you can give someone some money if they ask. But aside from that, so you have to have two things in mind. Would they be able, or would they give you the money if you asked them? Okay, so if you needed the $50, would they be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll give you the $50, pay me back when you can, or pay me back at whatever time that you guys agreed on? And the second thing is their ability to pay you back, right? So you have to consider that. If someone asks you for money, and if you wanted money, they'll give it to you, but at the same time, they have a history, right? Or maybe not a history, but you understand that they might not pay you because they're in a specific circumstance or stuff like that. So you have to keep that in mind. Are you willing to let the money go if they weren't able to pay you? Intentions aside, they might have good intentions with the intention of paying you back and stuff, but intentions aside, they might not be able to pay you. It's kind of like investing in a stock, right? You put the money. This is how I think when I invest in stocks. Every time I invest, I go like, okay, if I lost this money, I'm good. I don't mind. If it grows, fantastic. If I get a return, amazing. But every time I invest in the stock market, it's in mind that there's a risk that I might lose this money. Okay, and it's the same thing when lending a money to a friend, family. They might be like, oh, bro, I've known you for 10 years. Man, I've known you for 20 years. You know, I'm your brother. I'm your girlfriend. But at the same time, can they pay you back? And if not, are you willing to let the money go? So if you are willing to let the money go, then just give it away. It's a donation at this point. It's not lending. But if they can't pay you back, then it's on you. It's on you because you gave them the money. Like, I know one person, and he owes thousands of dollars to people, thousands, straight up thousands. And it's like, I see him going to bars, I see him, buying hundreds of dollars worth of weed. I see him going out and spending money. But I go like, don't you owe thousands of dollars to not like student loans and stuff? It's like to people like me and you. So wouldn't you rather just, instead of spending, let's say you owe someone $1,000, instead of spending $100 for weed, wouldn't you rather pay $50 for weed and then pay $50 to the person you owe, or better yet, just pay the full 100 to the person that you owe, isn't that a more financially smart decision? But some people are like that, so you have to take that into account. It doesn't matter how well you know the person, because when it comes to money, people are ruthless. No one ever minds borrowing money from you, but when it comes to paying it back, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why when you take a loan from a bank, they take your social security number, right? And they check your credit and do all that stuff to make sure that you're a valid person to give money to. But when you do that with friends and things go south, you can't send that loan to collections. You can't do that. So it's just going to be a personal thing between you and that person. So in that case, you have to put in mind their history, their ability to pay, and whether it's even worth it. Because people have asked money from me, and I've told them no, not because they won't pay me back, not because I don't trust them to take the money and like run away. It's just because I know that if I ask them for money, they'd be like, nah, sorry, bro. I know if I needed help, they wouldn't help me. So keep that stuff in mind. If you guys keep this in mind, you won't have any problems when it comes to lending money and stuff. And I'm making this video because I have been super generous with people when it comes to lending money. Not like with the aspect of not like with the amounts, because obviously I'm not rich, but at the same time, if someone asked me for like $100 and I know them and I've been friends with them for years and all that stuff, I'll probably give it to them. But at this point, I won't, because that person has a history and the other person like can't pay. So whenever I lost money with someone, I just considered it as a donation. I'd be like, okay, man, just keep the money. Fuck you. Keep the money. I'm never lending you money in my life. And that's a lesson that I learned. And I'm trying to portray this message to you guys so you guys also keep that in mind. Doesn't matter. Like if my brother asks for money or whoever, I'm just saying, I'll be like, okay, I'll give you the money. When are you gonna pay me back? Okay, because unless if it's like $10 or stuff like that, but when you're dealing with like hundreds of dollars, or like thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, you want to know when you're gonna get paid back, regardless if that person is your girlfriend or your coworker or your friend or your brother or your mom or your whoever, right? So you want to know when you're gonna be paid back. That's your right as a person. So you have to keep that stuff in mind. They might be salty for like a day or two because you said no, but at the same time, you gotta think of yourself. They're thinking of themselves or themselves. You gotta think of yourself. And this is everything I gotta say about this. This has been Malad Ghasil, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope I wasn't coming off too strong on this, but I just wanna stress the importance of this. Because if you don't think of yourself, no one's gonna think of of you except for you. Unless they're like, I don't know, unless they're like a parent or something. But regardless, this has been Malad Ghasil. Have a nice day, guys. Peace.